to think I'm nuts. Daniel Jones leads the Colts to the playoffs. This race is over. He's going to be the starting quarterback. You would have said 2 years ago, Baker Mayfield leads Tampa to the playoffs? No chance. Last year, Sam Darnold leads the Minnesota Vikings to 14 wins? No chance. What does he get in Indy? An offensive coach who created the start of Jalen Hurts' career.
Yes.
A great running game. A lot like a couple years ago when he had a healthy Saquon Barkley. Jonathan Taylor almost had 1,500 yards last year. The division stinks. The Jags haven't been good ever. Obviously, the Houston Texans, a lot of moving parts, a lot of question marks with the offense, and the Titans, no depth. So when you just look at the division, you look at recent high picks who've resurrected their career, the Colts have pretty good players. And just a couple years ago, Lou Anarumo, their new defensive coordinator, one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. Did he just get dumb overnight? No, the Bengals let all their players go. So I think the Colts, Daniel Jones, a little like Alex Smith, when Jim Harbaugh got to the Niners, they're not going to ask him to do some. They're not looking for 40 touchdowns here. Throw me 20.
Interesting. Mike Tom.
Okay. So what it all comes down to me, is how you feel about Shane Steichen. That's what it comes down to me. More so than even just Daniel Jones. Because if you believe that Shane Steichen is truly a great offensive head coach in the NFL and someone who would classify as a quarterback whisperer, then yeah, you could 100% see this happening. The only thing is about someone like a Daniel Jones as a high draft pick. A lot of people believe that Sam Darnold was worthy of a higher draft pick. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. People did not feel that way necessarily with Daniel Jones. Like, that was more of a shocking draft from the Giants. So you could say that he never really belonged there in the first place, rather than him being like a failed. I think he went like 6th overall. I forget exactly at this point now. I think people saw like the Sam Darnolds and the Bakers as like these failed top draft picks. I do not think that's how people feel about Daniel Jones. But I do not believe that the Colts would have given the contract to Daniel Jones how much they gave him if he didn't get Shane Steichen's blessing. And I very much feel as though I'm going to trust Shane Steichen, because I think Shane Steichen's great. And he was a play away from leading the Colts to the playoffs with Gardner Minshew. So it's just, I'm so excited to see how this unfolds. So excited. Because I bang on the coaching drum so regularly. I mean, that really is such one of my foundational, foundations. One of my foundations of just the importance of coaching. And they have not done a good enough job in Indianapolis to support someone as great as Shane Steichen. And so I'm just so excited to see that if Daniel Jones plays great and actually leads the Colts to the playoffs, it just gets to be another example of, see, there you go. But also make no mistake about it, Sam Darnold put in a ton of work. It wasn't just like he went to Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's great, and Kevin O'Connell was a massive contributor. I made a video, and someone in the comment section really misrepresented me, saying, that I'm saying that Kevin O'Connell had no effect on Sam Darnold. It's not at all what I'm saying at all. That's not at all. Kevin O'Connell was a huge reason why Sam had a lot of success. But don't downplay all of the other things that Sam Darnold also did. The development that he had with Shanahan with the 49ers. The work that he put in with Palmer for his own, private quarterback workouts and whatnot. The things that he's changed from a mechanical standpoint and footwork and delivery and all of this. That was not necessarily Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell put him in great positions to succeed. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But it wasn't just like Sam Darnold was just stuck in purgatory, and then he got to Kevin O'Connell, and then boom, had a year that popped. Now the other thing is Brian Daboll. A lot of people believe that Brian Daboll is a great offensive mind, especially for what he did with Josh Allen. And he had I shouldn't say a lot of success, but he had some success with Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, but then it just obviously did not pan out. So it's not like Daniel Jones has had nothing but disaster coaching. Now that roster has been a disaster for New York. So we know that if you can support Daniel Jones with a decent enough roster and a good enough coach, that you can obviously have success and win games. He's proven that. He's proven that, and I don't think that those were, you could chalk it up to like being like an outlier, because I think there's enough there. And even with Daniel Jones's mobility as well, will be interesting to see how Shane Steichen, works with that. So, yeah, I think if you believe in Shane Steichen as a head coach, then you can believe in this team, because Daniel Jones has shown enough, and this roster has enough, that it'll be all up to Shane Steichen to elevate it, to put all these pieces together, which is why I'm more excited to see what Shane Steichen can do with Daniel Jones rather than what Daniel Jones can do with Shane Steichen, if that makes sense. But like I said in a previous Colts video, I do have a little bit of PTSD from watching Daniel Jones with New York, specifically last year, because it was just kind of like, no matter who the coach is, I'm just kind of like, I see some moments where I'm just like, I don't know what that is. Like, it looks like you like lost the ability to throw. And there was also a couple moments, and this is actually really interesting, and I can't 100%, I haven't really reached a definitive conclusion as to why this unfolded. But, there was many moments that the Giants were clearly struggling and not looking good. And it was either a turnover on downs, whatever it was, a punt. And you could see Brian Daboll and Daniel Jones talking on the sideline. And it was almost like kind of like, this is just not working. Like Brian Daboll wasn't like angry. He wasn't like, look, this is what we need to do. What's this, that? Like, it was just very much like, yeah. And I just don't know if in that moment Brian Daboll is just looking at Daniel Jones, he's just like, you're just not good enough to run this offense, or if he's just like, I know, man, we just don't have the team. We just don't have the team, man. This team's such a mess, and what am I going to yell at you for not trying, for not being able to successfully overcome this mess? Like, I can't do that. So there's really like kind of two ways to look at it. It's like, did Brian Daboll just be like, what am I going to do? Yell at this kid? He's just not good enough. I'm going to yell at him to do things that I know he can't do, or is it just like, I can't ask him to do these things because there's nothing for him to do in this moment because his team is just not good enough. I saw a similar moment a couple seasons ago with Stafford and McVay, and it was just like, you could just see the team was really reeling. They had a bunch of injuries before they were able to kind of regain their momentum back, and you could just see it was just two men who obviously they've won a Super Bowl together. They obviously trust each other. They obviously respect each other. It was just like, there's just nothing I can do in this moment. And McVay's like, yeah, there's just nothing you can do in this moment. Like, there's no, we can't protect you. There's no one to throw to. We can't get the run game, and we're going up against a great defense. It's just like, what are we going to do in this moment? And those can be very real moments. And I try to put that in perspective in terms of how to evaluate where I think a quarterback can be. It's why, you look at Sean Payton yelling at Russell Wilson. Like, that was him being like, you cannot do what I need you to do. I do not want you as a quarterback anymore, right? That was the conclusion of Sean Payton, which is just, and you could say that's been a pretty accurate conclusion so far. So, yeah, I'm excited. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Daniel Jones leading the Colts to the playoffs? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.